April the 12th, 2023.
Normative society into one where anything goes, no boundaries, no values, no morals. It's a hedonistic cult, basically what they're implying.
Another blaring example, drag queen story time. It's happening in Canada and America, where some public schools and libraries invite drag queens, some dressed like torn demons, to read to young children.
And it's a social deconstructionist agenda. They're using children, little 5-year-olds, to accomplish this. And parents are waking up and saying no.
When asked about parents' rights, OJ says,
well, actually, in Canada, parents' rights are limited and children's rights are put ahead. So the child has the right to be protected from the parents when the parents behave badly.
Canada is known as one of the most gay-friendly countries in the world, with many of their largest cities featuring their own gay villages, like here in Vancouver, which has literally rolled out the Rainbow Road. Most gays, like village resident Dave Davy DiCarlo, support SOGI and limiting parental rights.
The change that we have to see is sometimes the parents, and the kids are doing actually really okay.
This is very scary stuff.
Longtime Vancouver area pastor Kevin Kavanaugh says this is far more serious than most Canadian Christians realize.
Our problem is not the teachers, the educators, the administrators. This is a battle in the heavenlies.
He says Satan is going after their most vulnerable, the children.
And the little girl came home in tears because the teacher had told her, since she was playing with some toys in the class that were deemed to be masculine in nature, that she was likely a boy in a girl's body. The mother went to the school the very next day, and instead of having any sort of tolerance or support or understanding, she was actually called names. She was told that she was a homophobe, that she was a bigot.
With that in mind, Tyler Thompson, Simpson, and Pastor Kevin are spreading their message across social media and in town hall meetings. The pro-gay backlash has been fierce.
And the hatred and the anger and the bullying that came against us, even though we said, we love you, we don't take from you the opportunity and the freedom to live as you choose. We love you, but we do not agree with you.
Pastor Kevin believes Canadian Christians are in a 2 Chronicles 20 moment.
The word was this battle is not yours, Jehoshaphat. This battle is the Lord's.
And the church is beginning to prepare for what it takes to fight for our kids.
The battle between an aggressive homosexual agenda and the faith community here in Canada is far from over. But many Christian leaders say it may be the issue that causes a once sleeping church to rise up and be heard. Wendy Griffith, CBN News, Vancouver. Where's my baby?
Now we've seen a drag queen story time rolled out, not just in the US, but right here in Australia. But the latest thing is what they're calling family-friendly drag shows. Yes, parents enthusiastically taking their kids along to watch performances that are often suggestive, sexually explicit, and frankly, the sort of content no child should be exposed to.
You're such an awesome mom that we're going to get your kid out to a family-friendly drag show, ladies and gentlemen. Are you confused yet?
Joining me now is Executive Director of Defend Our Kids and Blaze TV host Sarah Gonzalez. Sarah, you and Taylor Hanson have been attending these all ages or family friendly drag shows. Is what we saw there typical of the content?
Sadly, Rita, yes, it is typical of the content that they are, of course, billing as family friendly and all ages welcome. I wish that I could tell you that I have been to one of these drag shows that they are marketing towards kids and that it has not been sexual in nature, but that just has not been my experience. This is the new trend now. You have these woke suburban moms taking their children to, in this case, it was a Christmas drag show, but in many cases, it's a drag brunch where they sip mimosas and get tipsy while their children get sexualized in the process. And it's just a really, really devastating thing for American children here.
There are no laws around exposing children to sexually suggestive or explicit content. I mean, you don't see kids at strip clubs. Why are they attending these sort of shows where I've seen clips where
3
they're
months
handing
ago.
out dollar bills to drag queens who are doing a strip type performance, dancing. Again, are there no laws around this?
See, this is the thing that we are trying to prove, Rita, with my organization, Defend Our Kids Texas, is that we are trying to prove the point that there are laws already on the books that should be protecting children from these events. Unfortunately, lawmakers didn't have the foresight to think that they would have to include things like drag queen shows in all of these laws protecting children from being sexualized. So now we're seeing the ramifications of that. But our point in going in and getting this footage and showing people, how is this any different from taking your child to a strip club? As you mentioned, it's not any different. And unfortunately, we are living in a time where the LGBTQ community seems to be exempt from all of these ramifications, from the consequences of sexualizing children. And that is what my organization aims to stop.
Well, even talking about this, even showing the footage that you've got from these events, you get crazy attacks from the activist class who just deny this is happening, that deny that there's...
Okay, that's about all I can listen to. I am a mom, I am a woman, and I am a child of God. I am also a mother. Dear Heavenly Father, I just ask that you take over this video for the ones that have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. In your precious name I pray, Jesus of Nazareth, the one that died on the cross for me. Please, Holy Spirit, you're welcome here to tell your people what you want them to know. I keep hearing this is straight from the pits of hell. Straight from the pits of hell. Straight from the pits of hell. Indoctrination. Straight from the pits of hell. You heard that one video saying that it's not the children, it's the parents that are the problem. Well, as parents, we're here to protect our children. Would I allow my child to go into a bar? No. Would I allow my child to step into a fire? No. Would I let my child slice their wrist? No. Would I let my child go to a strip show? No. Would I let my child be read to by a person dressed up as a demon? No. These are things straight from the pits of hell. And I'm telling you right now, messing with God's innocence. And all these people that are claiming to be LGBTQ, whatever the numbers and letters are, pedophilia has got to be on that list now. Is demonic. And in this group, there's extremists who hate Christians, who hate anyone who opposes their ideals of what they did to his rainbow and what they want to indoctrinate in your children. You know why? Well, they have lust for your children. That's disgusting. Most of these extremists in this LGBTQ, AMZYJ, LMNG, OPNQ, whatever the name is, you know what I'm talking about. This extremist group that has a rainbow flag. They are perverts, pedophiles, and why do they care what straight parents are doing with their children? It is none of their business. It is not the school's job. The school's job is to educate our children on what? Reading, writing, arithmetic. Period. No sex ed whatsoever. I didn't sign up for that. And I'm not signing up for that. And you parents need to stand up. They start doing things behind your back. Lawsuits. 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 Stop sitting back and allowing this to happen. Stop running from it and putting your kids in homeschool. This is what a school without God looks like. This is what a world without God looks like. We threw God out of this country. We threw him out of our schools. We've had more school shootings than ever before. We threw him out of our courts. And they say that the justice system is broken. We threw him out of everything. We've threw him out of our country. We've thrown him out of our homes, our churches. We've thrown him out of everything. If he is not the center, it all crumbles. And that's what you're seeing. Straight out of the pits of hell. You're seeing a country built on sand, where there once was a country built on a rock. That rock was God. Yeah, our dollar bill still says, "In God we trust." It's only a matter of time before that disappears too. Straight out of the pits of hell is what we're seeing. This is disgusting to me. Not because I'm a heterosexual. Not because I am a woman. I was born a woman. I am a woman. I wasn't born a cat. I wasn't born a dinosaur. I wasn't born a confused female. I was born a woman. Period. And all these guys dressing up in these dresses. Can't remember the Bible verse where it says, "Man shall not wear women's clothes and women shall not wear men's clothes." It's in the Old Testament. And the other day I put up a video about where God did not trust his angels. That's in Job. I researched it. But the one where man shall not wear women's clothes and women shall not wear men's clothes is in here. Now how would he know 2,000 years ago, when this book was inspired, that was going to happen? Because it's straight out of the pits from hell. It's nothing new. Nothing new that the devil hasn't done. He knows what the devil thinks. That it has gotten so bad that our children are afraid to go to school. I wonder why 40% and why our children are depressed. Why do you think they're depressed? You are cramming adult agenda down their throat. Demonic shit that should not be crammed down their throat. And I'm sorry I cussed, but this is disgusting. You're taking something that is the most innocent thing on this planet, and innocent of God. Suicides are skyrocketing. Why? Because they have to go to school for 8 hours a day, and obviously somewhere in those 8 hours, this crap is coming up. It's all the kids talk about. I'm bi, I'm trans, I'm gay. And then you have these other kids that don't know what's going on. And they feel left out. They haven't even had sex, but they're claiming to be trans. They're claiming to be gay. They've never kissed a boy or a girl, but they're claiming to be bisexual. None of that makes sense to me as an adult. I remember being a child. I wasn't even thinking about that kind of stuff at that age. I didn't think about boys really until I was about 12 or 13 years old, when I went through puberty. I never thought about girls in that way. Did I think they were pretty? Yeah. But did I want to have intercourse with one of them? No, I did not. But it was pushed even in the 90s that it was hot for two lesbians. And I remember the pressure as a teenager back in the 90s to watch two girls kiss was hot. It's even harder on our kids' generation. Even harder. But I'm not backing down. And you shouldn't either. You should not either. This is illegal child abuse at its top form. Illegal child abuse. What you are putting in there. And let me tell you something. In the end, when they stand before God, in their drag queen outfit, or their devil horns, and their story time book, and tried to read God a story, what do you think He is going to do with that creature, human being, who's obviously so messed up mentally, it is straight from the pits of hell? What I don't understand is, if you are a gay person in this world, and you're watching what's going on, how this is not offending you. Because just because you're gay, you're labeled into that group. That extreme group. The Black Lives Matter group, they're extremist. The right and the left, there are extremes on both sides. There are extremists everywhere. There are people losing their minds. I am watching people die left and right. Shootings, suicide, murder. It's disgusting. And our children, 40% decline since 2020. And they, of course, they want to blame it on COVID. They blame everything on COVID. But this wokeism started. And I'm telling you right now, I have a child I can talk to every single day. And she's not depressed about the COVID. She doesn't even remember the COVID anymore. It was a time in her life. She spent time with her family. She stayed at home. And she got through it. But this new agenda on the rise, this new way of teaching our children in school, of questioning who they are when they don't even know who they are themselves, because this is the time that they're growing up. This is the time that they're going through puberty. They don't even know who they are. I didn't know who I was at 18. To indoctrinate something into their brain that is totally opposite of what we should be putting in their brain is extremely, extremely dangerous, and it is extremely demonic. And you watch this video. In Canada, the parents have no say-so. Well, here in America, we don't have no say-so if our children want to commit an abortion. So whose children are they? Are they the world's children? I'll tell you who my child belongs to, my children. They belong to God. I gave them to Him. At birth, before they were even born, they were dedicated to God. So you come across one of my children, whether they've chose Him or not, whether they've known that they've been dedicated to God since birth, you come across one of my children and you do something like that, the repercussions from my Lord when you stand before Him in your horns, half naked, with a storybook, and says, "Did you read to that child over there?" I can imagine the terror that that being is going to feel in those horns, half naked, with a storybook for a child, is going to feel. Or the moms that went out there and had mimosas while they didn't even care. Those are the kind of moms that go to Hollywood and put their child up on a stage and count the money while their child is being touched and probed and prodded by disgusting men of Hollywood. These are the same kind of parents. They only gave birth to these children for money. What can this child give me? This is a disgusting time that we live in. I should watch less TV. Yes, I should take it outside and beat the crap out of it. And if I didn't have a child, I would. But you know what? Our Lord tells us to be as wise as the serpent, but as calm as the dove. And they are pushing us. They are extremely pushing us. They are pushing God Himself. Because the spirit inside me is the same spirit that is up in heaven. And He is angry. He is hurt. He is disgusted. He can't even look at this world right now. Wait. Sodom and Gomorrah ain't got nothing on us. And you've seen what happened there. Do you know they literally call America Sodom and Gomorrah? What if Sodom and Gomorrah could have continued? What would they have done to their children? What would have happened to Lot's daughters? They would have been lesbians. Or having sex with animals. What would have happened if he continued to let Sodom and Gomorrah go? You would see it. What we're seeing right now. What is holding him back from destroying this place? I beg him every day. Please, please, don't destroy me with me here. I love you. Get me out of here. Get us out of here. There's more than just me here that love you. That's what's holding him back. And when He takes us out of here, when we go in the rapture, that gives me chills. Because then my Lord will be able to vent His wrath. And you're afraid of Him because He's a wrathful God. Well, part of justice and part of being a God and a creator is to live in a just and amazing world where innocent children are not being hurt or indoctrinated or touched by disgusting adults in sexual manners, or that their brains are being messed with in a sexual manner before they even have the chance to grow brain cells, to fully close their skulls over their brains. You want to pour this crap into babies. There has been a line drawn in the sand between us and extremists. We don't have to fight you. Our God will deal with you. Keep trying to push us. You're only making him angrier. Every time I come to him crying, every time I come to him praying, begging that my child gets home safely, he's going to remember that. This is not a threat against you. This is a promise that my Father loves me and that he will always provide for me and take care of me. And that I brought my children up in the right way. These are promises he's fulfilling to me. It has nothing to do with your demonic activities. But all you parents that are getting caught up in this, woe to you. You're responsible for those children. You are responsible for the ones you gave birth to. And if you can't do it, put them up for adoption. Because when you stand before God, he's going to want to know what you did. And it would be better for you to put them up for adoption and let someone raise them that knows what they're doing, and for you to have never had children. Do you understand that? How dangerous it is to be a parent in these times? I can't let it slide. I can't let any of this slide. Because I'm going to be held accountable when I stand before God. For every child I gave birth to, for every child I raised. If I led them in the right way, or if I led them astray, straight down to the path of hell, to the rainbow road. Let me tell you something again. How come no one is realizing what they are using as their flag? That is God's promise to us that he will never destroy the world with water again. You think they did that out of pride and arrogance? They made a flag to shove in his face like, you're not going to destroy us. I guarantee that's why they did that. They could have picked any color. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of flags that represent each country. We have flags that represent Christianity. We have flags that represent Marines, Army. But here you got this flag in rainbow colors. And immediately as a Christian, I see that's rainbow colors. And that's God's promise to me. So if somebody hasn't told you in the gay community, those colors are already used. They've already been used. He didn't use a flag. He put it up in the sky for all to see. And you're taking it and putting it on a flag for it to represent something that is totally opposite. Waving it in the air, prideful like Satan, saying he's not going to destroy us again. He's not going to destroy us again. He said with water. He has other means of destroying this world. But you know what? He's not going to touch any of it until we're taken out of here. And I'm going to tell you right now, you better get right with God. You better wake up. And even if it's after the rapture and you're watching this, and you know you went down the wrong road, and you were part of that LGBTQ, and you wonder why God is so angry right now while you're going through the tribulation, and why it's so hard, and why it just feels like you can't feel the presence of God. He took his true bride home. We were being tortured enough. We were sickened and disgusted because this is the closest I will ever be to hell. And I don't want to be any closer. I'm nauseous half the time at what I'm hearing and seeing and how I'm watching parents raise their children. And just the theme of discussions that come up. And how childish and idiotic this world has become. without God in it. That we are cloning cows to eat when He already provided cows. When we could have been using that time and energy to solve things like AIDS and cancer, or world hunger, or the extinction of an animal. What were we down here doing? Manipulating DNA. That's what we're down here doing. We're down here manipulating DNA. Playing God. Deciding who lives and who dies. Deciding fates of people in courts. Deciding laws that people whose brains are not mentally and fully functioning as an adult can make right decisions. Forcing them to make decisions or asking them choices that will maim them for the rest of their life or destroy them mentally for the rest of their life when they're not ready to make those kinds of decisions under the age of 21. See this right here? This is what I've been fighting. I'm not gonna hide my sin. This is what I'm hiding. This is my last sin. Addiction to these things. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not a hypocrite. That's my sin. The only sin. And you say, well, cigarette smoking ain't a sin. Depends on how much you smoke. Depends on how much. If you have to leave a church to smoke those things, would you consider it a sin? If it's destroying your body like it is mine, when does it become a sin? Is that a sin? Being addicted to that? A soft drink? Anything can be a sin. That can be a sin. This can be a sin. This can be a sin. The thing I'm holding in my hands can be a sin. It's indulgence. It's extremist on it. When I'm laying here talking to you guys, or sitting here talking to you guys, and I see an empty pack of cigarettes, I see an open pack of cigarettes, I see empty bottles of Dr. Pepper sitting beside me. Why are you playing around with it? You don't understand. I've tried the patches. This takes a healing, and I need a healer, and I've tried to heal myself. You say you don't have faith. I've had faith. I've had faith. I don't know how Noah did it for 120 years. I don't know. And people have said that he drank, or that he was a drunk. I don't believe that. I don't know how God is handling this at this time. I don't. And as his child, I could not imagine what he sees that I am not even seeing or acknowledging. He's teaching me so much time, so much stuff in these last days. Maybe so that I can leave videos behind or journals behind and help you guys. I don't know. I don't even know if there's going to be an internet after we're taken. And if it is, it's going to be very hush-hush. They're not going to want you to know about Jesus. They're not going to want you to... I mean, the scrutiny against Christians has already been happening since I've been on the planet. The other day I heard that somewhere in the world they separated Muslims from Christians and they killed all the Christians. I haven't come across that video, but I heard it. And it was over 150 Christians. And I think it happened in the Middle East. In one day, 150 died. They're going to kill the last Christian that was marked by God for the rapture. The last one that was supposed to be martyred before the rapture took place. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to hurry this along so that they get 7 horrible years with you guys to torture you, to try to do everything for you to take that mark. And I've been through my trials and tribulations with the devil. And like I told you, I'd be one of the first ones to stand in line and say, shoot me. Or if that's your will to kill me, then do it. But see, he wouldn't do that with me. He would toy me. Because the devil, he's an evil creature, and he loves to torture. He loves to torture the crap out of his beings. Why? I don't know why. But he did it to me in my life. He killed some of my children. Others he ripped from my arms, never to return. All the while laughing at me. He took my family away from me. Took the love of my life away from me. He stomped on all my dreams. Buckets and buckets of tears I cried. And as I sit here right now, after Easter, I went through a fast and I'm sicker than a dog. It never ends. It doesn't end until I'm home. None of it ends until I go home. The attention span is shorter. Most people will overlook my videos until it's time. I've made some short videos, but I'm making longer ones now because scientists say that humans don't have the attention span to watch a video that's this long. So I'm trying to be as smart as that serpent, but as calm as the dove. So here it is, 38 minutes into my video, and you are now learning my secret. They would have had to watch 38 minutes along with you to understand why I'm making such long videos, or why other people are making long videos. By now, somebody from the government or someone from the other side, the devil's side, would have done clicked off and said it's a bunch of nonsense. It's a Christian hating. But I'm telling you right now, this is all in that book. It's all going to go the way it was supposed to. I don't know who's going to pick God, and I don't know who's going to pick the devil. But he does. And if you're looking for videos like mine, you're searching for something. And the only thing I can do is direct you in the right way. You may not have this book at the end. The most precious gift that he gave to humans. You may not have this book. They may burn them in the streets for all I know. They won't destroy it though. It's written on our hearts. That's in this book. That the word will never be destroyed. Will you have to hide? Yes. Will you be hungry? Yes. There are many of us that are praying for hidden manna for all of you. Some of us are preparing hidden manna in God's work. There are Christians that know that they are going to be raptured. They're setting up homesteads for some of you left behinders in perfect places that you will be hidden and sancted because you are going into a holy house of people that have been raptured. Now, when you go into a house that the whole family's been raptured, look for their Bibles. That's the first thing you want to look for. In my Bible, there are letters that say, please read me. There are also letters that say goodbye to certain people. There is also this in here. There are different things in my Bible. A lot of people hide things in their Bibles. Why not? This is where the hidden word is. You have to open this thing up to figure out what life is about. Read the words. And after you read them, they're tattooed on your heart, your soul, forever. So when you go into a holy house, if someone has been raptured after the rapture, go look for their Bibles first. It may tell you where they've hidden their food. Don't plumage their house. All of us have gave them to you. After we've left here, we've basically gave it away to the world. We've went on to better. We've went on to food that is not like food down here. We won't be hungry for that food. We won't need a house to keep us out of the weather or the sun, or to protect us from this world. We will be dwelling in the house of the Lord, being fed by Him from trees and waters that run through the city of life. We will have no need for these earthly things. They are yours. Just remember, try to respect the holy house if you stay there. I would say cover the windows. Pick this book up. Start reading it. Pray every day. Enjoy the food that you can get while you can. I hope you make it the full 3.5 years. He said, blessed is those that make it the full time. But I hope that your tribulation is not as hard as I'm anticipating that it will be for some. Because I wasn't even going through the tribulation and He tortured me. He tortured me so bad that I almost lost my mind a couple times. And God said, don't go there. This is the most revealing secret I have for you guys. When your child dies and they rip the other 3 away from you in your arms, you can't understand what kind of mental battle that is. You have no idea how torturous that is to a mother who did nothing but love her children and didn't understand why this was happening to her, with no explanations. Time is running short, and so is this video. So I pray this word gets out and the ears and eyes can see and hear. But I want you to know that He had no mercy on me. And after tribulation, you have to be strong to go through it. Just don't give up. Let them be the one that pulled the trigger. let them be the one that takes your life. And I hope to see you on the other side. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. That this word gets out. I'm praying for all my brothers and sisters. Yes, this horrible stuff is going on. This only confirms to me that he is coming. Because when he touches God's innocence, and when he touches Israel, he is pushing all of God's buttons. The devil himself is pushing his buttons. This may be my last video, and if it is, I love you all, and I will see you on the other side if you accept the free gift of salvation, and if you change from your ways that left you here.